am coming to you from Philadelphia. This is the land originally belonging to the Lenape, and we pay our respects. I'll begin with just props for anyone who's just hopped on. Our props for today are going to be a blanket and a strap. We're going to be doing some work with the shoulders and a little space at the wall for your heel if you're able. And if there's balance issues that you're working with, please grab a chair. So while you set up with props, just one announcement from the Institute today, and then we'll move to our practice. We'll do about 5 minutes of warm-up, and then I'll share some Torah from Parshat Pinchas this week, and then we'll continue with our practice till 1:15, and then we'll have Q&A. And I also want to let you all know I've been talking about an upcoming retreat at Kripalu in Massachusetts in December, and it's happening, and I have info for you today. So I will put that into the chat at the end of our class. Join us next Wednesday, July 12th, is our Jews of Color monthly mindfulness sit. It's Wednesday, July 12th, 12 to 1. And please join us for that if you're able. Next Wednesday, July 12th, 12 to 1. Slowing down and resting is one of the ways that we move ourselves to greater liberation. Join us in a space dedicated to Jews of Color for this monthly opportunity to slow down together and take a mindful pause. So that's terrific. Next Wednesday, 12 to 1. Join us if you can. Alrighty, let's get started. We are going to begin on our backs, and I'd like you to grab your blanket. We're going to make a little roll with the blanket. So today is the 14th of Tammuz. We are moving along. All right, this is going to be a supported back bend, a passive backward extension. And depending on how open you are in your thoracic spine, in the back bends, will depend on how you want to set up your blanket. So if you're feeling pretty tight in this area between the shoulder blades or, around the rib cage shoulders, you're going to open your blanket like so and make your roll along the long edge. Okay, so that'll be a little bit less. If you're feeling pretty open in that area, then start from the regular fold and make from the long edge a nice tight jelly roll. We're going to be here a couple minutes, okay? And you're going to place the blanket horizontally in the upper third of your mat. So you're going to come in like so, coming back onto the blanket, have it be at the top of your shoulder blades, and then take your elbows and swing them around the blanket, and then draw yourself toward the head side of the mat. So the skin of your back is drawing down towards your heels. It's sort of pinning your shoulder blades down the back. And then you'll find this sweet spot where you land pretty much at the bottom third or bottom tip of the shoulder blades. Back of the head is on the floor. Chin is not too scrunched. Back of the neck is lengthened. And you can land either with the knees bent, as I'm doing, or if you prefer, lengthen out the legs long. Either way, just fine. See what's comfortable for you. And then the arms, also kind of investigate an option for yourself. I'm doing cactus arms with the arms bent at 90 degrees. For a little more, you can lengthen the arms above your head. If you're wanting that, you can also extend the arms out at shoulder height, palms facing up. So those are a few options. Beginning to draw inward here. Feeling the breath coming and going. If you're feeling a real glitch on your breath, then maybe your roll is too high, too much arch on your back. You might want to lessen it. Breath should be easy, just coming and going. Feeling, especially in this position, the front ribs, the front lower ribs, nice and open. Feeling perhaps like we can get a nice, deep, wide breath with those ribs opening. This supported back bend helps us make space between each vertebra in the upper back. And as you scan through the upper torso, just notice how you're doing today. How does it feel in the rib cage, the shoulders, the front of the chest? As we're grateful to be here today, we can notice that everything is always new, everything is always fresh. Our morning liturgy says, "Hamechadesh betuvo bechol yom tamid," that God renews us in God's goodness. Bechol yom, each day. Tamid, always, again and again. Each breath, each day, each yoga practice kind of gives us the opportunity for a fresh start. To reconsider and see what we need each day. As you're ready, roll over to one side, nice and slow, and then you're going to flip like a pancake over to your belly. And make a nice little sphinx here. This is just a gentle counter pose here, or complement. The blanket is supporting the lower ribs, standing on the forearms. Sending the toes back, lengthening the tailbone, widening the collarbones, drawing the heart forward. Just for a moment, feeling this nice effect of that support we had. And then as you're ready, press into the hands, tuck the toes, slowly come up to all fours. And then we're going to sit it back either to a puppy with the tailbone extended, or to child pose with the blanket supporting under the elbows in such a way that you could lay the forehead down. So either puppy or child, just lengthening out, taking a counter pose here. Now we can really feel the breath in the back of the rib cage. Allowing the breath to come and go. Just letting the mind quiet. Letting the body quiet. No matter what we're doing in our practice, sometimes it's very nice to just begin with these stiller, quieter poses. So you can stay here in child for a bit, or you can come up to a comfortable seat as I share a little bit of Torah. Again, on this 14th day of Tammuz. So this Thursday is the 17th of Tammuz. We're in a quiet period of the calendar, or just a lower period of the calendar in mood. The 17th of Tammuz is a minor fast day commemorating the breach of the walls before the destruction of the Second Temple, sort of the beginning of the whole period that leads us to Tisha B'Av, and it's known as the beginning of the period called the 3 weeks. The 3 weeks from the 17th of Tammuz to the 9th of Av, a mournful period in our calendar. Our parsha today is Pinchas, and there are two pieces of really big transformation in this parsha. I want to highlight one of them, but those two are, one, the transfer of power from Moses to Joshua, very big piece of our story. And secondly, these 5 sisters, Benot Tzlofchad, the daughters of Tzlofchad, who come forward to ask for land that belonged to their father, that they wish to claim. Where'd it go? There we are. Okay, so the Torah tells us, first of all, the Torah gives us their names, which is amazing. 5 women. Here are their names: Machla, Noah, Chogla, Milka, and Tirzah. These 5 daughters. Vata'amodna, and they stood before Moses, Eleazar the priest, the chieftains, the whole assembly. And they said, our father died in the wilderness. He wasn't one of Korach's faction, which banded together against God, but he died for his own sin, and he's left no sons, right? So the land would by law generally go to the sons. But let not our father's name be lost to his clan, because he had no son. Please give us a holding, an achuzah, betoch ache avinu, among our father's kin. And so Moses brings their case directly to God, and God says, Ken benot Tzlofchad. The plea, yes, Ken, yes. The plea of the daughters of Tzlofchad is just. You should give them a hereditary holding among their father's kinsmen. And further, speak to the Israelite people, if a man dies without leaving a son, you shall transfer his property to his daughter. So they win their case. There are a few really interesting things here. So first of all, they're the only collection of 5 siblings in the Torah, and they're the only biblically named sisters outside of Rachel and Leah. So that's important. It's also a lesson on non-hierarchical leadership. Yeah, so the Midrash points out that the Torah doesn't tell us their birth order. We do get their names, but we have no birth order. We have no unique characteristics expressed, and they function as a team, no spokesperson, and they speak in the plural voice. Right, so they're an effective sibling team showing us non-hierarchical leadership. And the only other effective sibling team has been Moses, Aaron, and Miriam. And as we know, Aaron and Miriam died in the last parsha. That was our last scene here. And so it's interesting that the Torah gives us this story directly after the death of Miriam and Aaron and the end of that triumvirate. So they tell us, they teach us about the strength to come forward and ask for what we want. And not only do they get an achuzah, but they also get a nachala. They also get a law for the future and holding for their land, which is really incredible. And I'm thinking a lot about the Supreme Court over the last couple of weeks and decisions and how we stand up and come forward and protect our rights. It's really been on my mind. So the Torah says, interestingly, one verb before the other, kind of in reverse order. It says first vatikravna and then vata'amodna. Aviva Zornberg says the following: the 2 verbs resonant in their unusual feminine plural form, that's the na at the end, vatikravna, they came close from karov, kuf resh bet, vata'amodna, and they stood up. Declare the significant acts of the sisters. Before they even open their mouths, they come forward. and they stand before all the dignitaries of the people. So we would think that first they would stand and then they would come close, right? But it has it in reverse order, coming close and then standing. So how can we come close to what we know is the truth and then pull ourselves up and stand for it? How do we come out from the margins to the center to express what we need? What does it take to stand up? So today I want to look at standing, and I want to look at opening our shoulders. We started that with that supported back bend, and how we come forward with a very full stance to hold our requests and what we need to express and what we need to bring forward. So we're going to start with a low lunge. You can use a little bit of blanket under the knee if you'd like to support the back knee. Let's take the right knee down and the left foot forward. Just make sure that you're not on your kneecap, and just allow the tailbone to lengthen and the hips to sink. Bringing up some sensation in the right thigh, the quadriceps, the hip flexor. You can wiggle around a little bit as you'd like. Just really let the hips drop. See that the front knee doesn't go past the ankle. And then if you'd like, tuck those back toes. Lift the knee and send the heel back. Extend the crown of the head forward. Widen the collarbones. Just feel that opening to the front of the right thigh. And then start to draw the hips back. You can keep a bend on the knees. And then step forward and switch legs. And we're just going to come right on down, taking the left knee to the floor. And once again, letting the hips drop. So let the hips sink. Notice how this is on the other side. So of course, whatever's going on in the thigh, in the quads, in the hip flexor, it has a lot to do with the psoas. It has a lot to do with how we stand, how we're able to stand upright, how the spine will then organize itself and the rest of the body upward. Again, just checking in with sensation. See if you need to back out or come in a little bit further. How is it feeling? One side versus the other side. Hips even. Tailbone lengthening. And then if you would like, tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, send the heel back. Widen the collarbones, lengthen the spine, send the crown forward. Easy, smooth breaths in and out. And then beginning to draw the hips back, moving toward straightening the legs. And then step the left foot forward to meet the right. And roll it on up. Let's first find mountain pose, the feet together or hip width apart. Just finding our way. This is always just a beautiful way to begin our standing. Even standing between the 2 feet. You might lift and spread the toes. Feel the 4 corners of the feet, the inner heel, the outer heel. The mound of the big toe across the front arch to the mound of the little toe. Sending the feet down, the crown of the head up. Is there anywhere you can soften, even within this alertness? It's feeling the body as a whole. Coming close. Vatikravna. It's coming close to your own self. The sensations of this body in this moment. And then we'll grab the strap, whatever you've got. Take it wide and hold it between thumb and first finger, like two pincers here. Take it wide and pull on the strap. We're just going to start to open the shoulders, feet a little wider than hip width, by inhaling the arms up and then exhaling the arms back and down. So you may need to adjust as you go, widening or coming in a little, but you want to keep the strap taut and you don't want to have any jerking as you go. So as wide as you need to go evenly. And we're inhaling through the nose every time the strap comes up. And we're exhaling through the nose as the strap comes down. Inhaling up and exhaling down. And just keep going in your own breath a couple of times. Feeling attentive to sensations. Keeping the shoulders down, away from the ears, long neck. Just starting to open the shoulder joints. Bring some blood, bring some aliveness to the shoulder joints. And then the next time you come down, you can release the strap. We're going to bring the hands behind the back. If you can clasp the hands and extend the arms, then you won't need the strap for this. If the shoulders are feeling tight, then you're going to want to take the strap behind you. So either way, with the strap or without, taking the arms behind, inhaling, extending either the strap or the knuckles back, widening across the upper chest, lifting the gaze, and as you exhale, fold forward at the hips. You can keep as much of a bend on the knees as you like, and folding over as much as you'd like, wherever you'd like to be here. You can let the head go. You can shake the head out, no and yes. Again, sending the knuckles back. And breathing. And then as you're ready, press into the feet. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, release. And just take stock. Notice how you feel. Any sensation, any blood flow, any change of temperature. What do you feel across the front of the upper chest? Across the upper back. We're going to take an easy forward fold. So hips, feet hip width apart, hands to the hips. Inhale, lift the upper body, lengthen. Exhale, fold forward at the crease of the hips. And just bring the hands to the thighs or the shins for now. Press the legs away, lengthen the spine. You can stay here, or if you'd like to fold more fully, you can fold down. You might like to take ragdoll with holding opposite elbows. And let the forearms help traction the spine down. You decide what you'd like here. And then as you're ready, either coming up with a flat back or rolling up the spine vertebra by vertebra as you make your way up and back up. Okay, so we're going to take, if you have wall available, I want to use that for some proprioception for the back foot. We're going to be taking some lunges here. And so if balance is an issue for you, then I'd like you to take a chair or something in front of you to be able to place here so that when we come into the lunge, you have something for your hands. Right? So the back heel will be at the wall. You would have something here. I want to make sure you have that if you need. So that is a wonderful option. We're going to take the right heel to the wall. Ball mound of the foot is down on the floor. The heel is up the wall. Walk that left foot forward and start just with straight legs, right? So basically feet in line with the hips, or you can widen the stance a little bit if you'd like. Press that back heel into the wall and feel again the opening, the sensation that that may cause through the right hip flexor and any other sensation. We want to just sort of come to our edge but not past it. So you do you this practice as always, and then as you're ready, we're going to bend through the front knee and come down into a lunge. Good. So hands on hips. And as much as you'd like, you can work on straightening that back leg by sending the heel like you could drive it, make a little hole in the wall even, right? You decide how much energy and effort you want to send back. That's up to you. And then we want to keep our attention on stabilizing the hips, evening them out, right? So they're in the same plane. And then when you're ready, step on out. We'll take the other side. So left heel up the wall, walking that right foot forward, starting just with even standing, straight legs, heel up the wall. Inhale here. And then exhale, you'll bend into the lunge. So the front knee, as always, it's not coming past the ankle. Right? So take a look at that. If your right knee is coming past the right ankle, you want to widen your stance, lengthen forward. So finding your lunge, and again, pressing that back heel to the wall, and particularly it's the inner heel, it's the left inner heel, sending it back. Notice how that is for your hips. Right, and so this is a very powerful stance, Vata Amodna, finding that standing wide across the shoulders, open to the world, stable on the legs, strong through the core. And then as you're ready, come on out. Take a pause in mountain pose and just notice, how is it right now? What do you feel? What do you register? Any change in your breathing, temperature throughout the body, any kind of after effect from the lunge? We're going to take it again now. You can do the same thing. You can do hands to the hips or hands to the chair, or you can add the arms in as follows, and a couple of choices on this one. If the shoulders are more tight, you're going to take the strap and do a wide V. If the shoulders are fairly open, you're going to belt. You're going to measure that belted loop across the front of your chest, basically inner armpit to inner armpit, like inseam to inseam of your t-shirt should be about right. And then you're going to place the belt on the arms, just below the elbows. Okay, so here we are, right foot at the wall, left foot forward. Let it come to where I don't have the dormer in my way. Inhale the arms up, and then exhale, bend through that front knee. Here we are in this lunge. Okay, so we're using the arms, palms facing each other. If you've got the strap wide, of course that won't really be the case, but you're pulling the strap wide and taut. If you're belted as I am, you're rolling those outer armpits forward. Palms are facing each other. You might check that the wrists are even, not cocked in any way. You're sending that right inner heel back. Again, driving a hole through the wall. The front knee is not coming past your ankle. And then if you'd like, you can take your gaze up as well. You decide. Tailbone is lengthening. And when you're ready, release. And we'll pause and we'll take the other side. So again, with the strap, in any which way, we have a lot of options now here. We're holding the chair, whatever feels right for you. Left heel at the wall. Step that right foot forward. Inhale the arms up. And exhale, coming on in. Sending that left inner heel back, right? That back leg is internally rotating slightly. Find the stability of the legs. Connecting to the wall. Tailbone is lengthening, rib cage is lifting. Arms pressing out like you could break the strap. And then if you'd like, also taking the gaze up. And the taking the gaze up isn't simply throwing the head back. It's really coming from the base of the rib cage by lifting each vertebra one by one through the thoracic and cervical. And as you're ready, release. Beautiful work, everybody. We're going to take it one more time each side. And I want to offer you a next option, but it's not for everybody. It's to come into a more traditional warrior one foot, which is now the back heel comes down toward the wall and the toes are forward. I say it's not for everyone because it can, for anyone who has sacroiliac issues, not be the best option. So you have options here. Back foot against the wall, high, or bring the foot down. Oops. Right? Heel coming down toward the floor. And now we have to work a little harder to square those hips. So either way. And then you can work with the strap or without. You can do hands on hips, you can do hands on the chair to come into warrior one. So you decide what's for you today as we do that. It's just fine to keep doing the same iteration over and over. We learn more each time. So building we're going to build anyway just by doing it over. And then when you're ready, take the second side. So again, either the heel is up the wall, high lunge, or the foot is turned with the heel down and up the wall, coming in. And with the heel down, of course, you're not going to come as low. Right? So don't push on it. Really notice what's going on in the low back. And then as you're ready, release. And we're going to come down to the mat for a seated twist. So you might want to sit up on your blanket a little or a lot. Extend the left leg long and draw the right leg in. So legs can be parallel. Right foot can cross over the left with the left extended, or left can come under you. You decide which. Wherever you are, ground those sitting bones. Inhale the spine tall. And then exhale, take a twist to the right. Right fingertips coming behind you. And then holding left hand to the right knee in whatever way you'd like. It could be palm to the outside of the knee. It could be holding in the crook of the elbow. It could be elbow to the outside of the knee. Decide which works for you. The main thing is, as we inhale, lift that spine nice and tall. And as we exhale, spin the ribs. Right, so the twisting is a beautiful complement. And next set of poses as counterpose to back bending, backward extension, which is what we get in those lunges in Warrior One. Then as you're ready, release. And twist for a moment to the left. Little counter twist. And then we'll switch sides. So whatever option you took on the first side, you'll see if that's right on the second side, or you'll take something else if the other side is a little different. Take the hands to the shins. Inhale, lift the spine nice and tall. Lower back nice and wide. Exhale, spin to the left. A little or a lot. And of course, I didn't say it, but this can also be done seated in the chair. So I hope you're taking that option if that one is more appropriate for you. Working into the twist. And then as you're ready, release. We're going to take the legs wide now and sit up tall. Extending through the heels, extending through the balls of the feet. So the way we enter each pose in our yoga practice is a little bit like the verbs that we're exploring today. Vatikravna, vata'amodna. We approach all the directions of the pose. We approach ourselves. We start to inquire. We come close. Vata'amodna. And then we have a sense of standing up tall within the pose. Sense of arrival. And re-arrival as we live into a pose. So you can stay seated up tall, or if you'd like to fold forward, you can do that. Start to walk the hands forward. Just being wherever you need to be in this pose today. So we take a lot from the courage of these 5 sisters who, at a time when it wasn't at all the norm and it certainly wasn't the law, said, hey, wait a minute. Hey, wait a minute. We're not married and we don't have a brother. We don't have brothers. We'd like the opportunity to be given what should be ours. And God is swift in God's decision. It's just one word, Cain. Yes. As you're ready, come on back. You bend the knees. Come on back, and we will come to lie down. If there's anything, before we go into stillness, any movement, any pose that your body missed, anything that you would like to do, go ahead and do that. If you're ready for a few minutes of stillness, come on down. You can use that blanket many ways. You might want it as a pillow under your head, or you can roll it up once again and make a little bolster and place it under the knees or under the thighs and lay it down. So coming down onto your back, or if you prefer onto your side in a fetal position, or even just sitting up and closing your eyes if that's most comfortable. Taking your glasses off if you're wearing glasses. If you're lying down, allow the palms to face upward. Draw your shoulder blades under you, sort of tuck them in as if you're tucking your wings in. Allow the outer shoulders to drop. Let there be nice width across the upper chest. Soften the belly. Soften the throat. Easy jaw. Soften the space between the eyebrows and soften the forehead. Soften the eyes and the muscles around the eyes and behind the eyes. Soften the ears and around the ears. Soften your neck and particularly the base of the skull. And just take these next couple of minutes for complete quiet, complete surrender. Allow the efforts of your practice to continue their conversation with your nervous system. There's nothing you have to do and nowhere you have to be. Simply trust that the work that you have done is now going to the merit of your own system and ultimately out for the benefit of others. If you're able to stay longer, if you have time and desire, please feel free to remain in Shavasana a little while. If you're continuing on with your day, start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Starting to wake up again. Lengthen the arms and the legs. Take a nice deep yawn, stretch. And bend the knees. Place the soles of the feet on the floor. And draw the knees in toward the chest and roll over onto your side, using your upper arm as a pillow for your head. And as you are ready, pressing into the hands and coming up to a comfortable seat. Tall spine. As we close out our practice today, taking a hand to the belly and a hand to the heart. And really holding the courage, the strength of the 5 daughters of Tzlofchad. And taking a kavanah forward, an intention in this week to come close to what's important, to stand up in body, heart, and mind, all as one holistic piece, to speak up for justice, to speak up for your needs. Taking a couple of deep breaths to seal that kavanah. And as you're ready, release the hands, allow the eyes to open. Shavua Tov, everyone. Thank you for practicing. If this offering or any of IJS's offerings have been useful, helpful to you, please consider making a donation in any amount. That helps us continue these free resources to offer all this goodness that we offer daily. If you have a question, please go ahead and raise your hand. I see we have a few already, or put your question in the chat. Thank you to Jet for putting these links into the chat over here. And I also want to welcome Max to our staff, who's here today helping. We have all this wonderful tech support, which is great. And before Q&A, I just want to share with you, info is up for my retreat in December at Kripalu Yoga Center in the Berkshires, wonderful place in Western Massachusetts. It'll be November 30th to December 3rd, pre-Hanukkah Shabbat retreat with Rabbi Claudia Kreiman, who is also from this last clergy cohort with IJS. She's in Brookline, so check it out. If it speaks to you, please come join us. There will be one also in April before Pesach.